Oh.
On the contrary, here are some things that they can eat. They can eat normal, natural sugar. They can eat lots of things like fruits and vegetables, which includes pickles or cucumbers, whatever you want to go as. They can have fruit juices. Instead of butter, like in our cookies, they can have Crisco, because it's not a dairy product. They can have gluten-free and low-protein, which is low-protein flours. Again, they can have strawberries, they can have mushrooms. And instead of eggs, they can use things such as vanilla pudding mix. And then they can have natural foods such as honey as well.
Yeah, but it's really...
These are our deliciously yummy sugar cookies.
Okay, it's recording now.
I didn't make it.
Okay, Kirsten, does that answer your question?
Well, yes, it does.
Okay, now while you're being satisfied with your answer, why don't you go spit out your gum? Are there any other questions? Yes, Taylor?
If you're not on the diet, what happens to you?
Well, that's a good question. What happens is you outbreaking a rash, and then your IQ rapidly drops. This is even if you had already been on the diet previously. And also because your body has all the phenylalanine buildup in it, it has to release it somehow, so it's released through the sweat and urine, giving the person a musty or mousy type odor. Excuse me, can I please have that?
Have what? Okay. Go.
Hello, as we have discussed, you can't...
Just go.
Hello, as we have discussed, when you are a PKU patient, there are many things that we take for granted eating every day that you cannot eat, such as flour, but there are recipes that you can use that avoid using the ingredient phenylalanine in them. That way PKU patients can enjoy them as well. For example, we're going to make sugar cookies today. The ingredients we are going to use are laid out here. The ingredients that you normally use, such as vanilla, water, salt, brown sugar, baking soda, and sugar, are here.
Now, some of the ingredients we're also using are kind of abnormal, like this gluten-free all-purpose baking mix, which we're using instead of flour. We're also using vegetable shortening or Crisco instead of butter. Now, the vanilla pudding that we have here is used instead of eggs, and it basically holds it all together.
Now, to manage PKU and keep your consistently low PHE or phenylalanine blood levels, they use an approach called the 3 R's. These R's stand for recording, restricting, and replacing. First of all, you have to keep track of how much phenylalanine you consume in a day. They do this by measuring it in exchanges. One exchange is equal to about 15 milligrams of phenylalanine. And what you have to do is you have to go to a registered dietitian, and then they will give you a number of how many exchanges you can eat per day. And then using this, you have to record all the food you eat in a day and make sure you keep within your limit of phenylalanine that you intake.
Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm creaming together the shortening and the sugar. Now, the second part of the 3 R's is restricting. And people on the PKU diet soon realize that there are many foods that have too much PHE to be included in their diet. These include meat, eggs, dairy, and because of their high PHE count, they must be avoided entirely. Now, there are a variety of substitute foods like the baking mix we used here and the Crisco, as well as the pudding mix, that can be used as a substitute food. And there are many recipes available online and cookbooks that you can purchase if you have PKU.
Right now I'm adding to the cream, shortening, and sugar. I'm adding the pudding mix, which is again in place of eggs, vanilla, and the water. The third R is replace. Because protein is an essential part of any diet, you must use some way to consume protein. But as Kirsten discussed, you can't eat things such as meat and eggs, which would be your normal sources of protein. So the key part of the replacement is that you have to use a special formula. Now these formulas are you get from a prescription from a drugstore, and then they have to order away from them. And what they have is they contain every essential amino acid that the body needs, except for phenylalanine. So that's 19 amino acids that they have in them.
Now,
Also some meals have extra vitamins in them just to also maintain the balance in your diet.
Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm adding together the baking mix, which is in place of flour, the baking powder, and the salt.
Wait, where's the brown sugar?
Oh crap, sugar
Okay.
powders.
Now before we move on, we forgot to add the brown sugar, so we're going to add that now.
Alright, now the replacing, oops, did you write that? Oh dear. Okay, a 14-year-old may have about 400 milligrams, or about 27 exchanges per day. But depending on the severity of the person's PKU case, it may be different.
And now that I've added the brown sugar that we previously didn't add, I'm going to add and mix in the whisked dry ingredients.
No, just go like this. Now, after we're going to add this all together, we're going to mix it, and then we're going to place it. Now it is.
I'm ready. One in 14,000.
Okay, it's recording now. Where's the end? Oh, go. Just start.
Here's some sugar cookies that we have previously prepared earlier. Guys,
Yeah.
you need a hot pad?
Taylor.
I have a hot pad.
Ingredients.
Yeah, it's
I'll
recording.
introduce the normal, you introduce the non-normal. Can I explain first? Go. Hi, we're going to show you a little bit about how to cook, avoiding phenylalanine, which PKU patients cannot have. As you can see, normally we are going to make cookies. Why don't we do that?
Yeah. Just do it now. Just go.
Okay, start.
Redo. Go.
Okay. PKU patients, as we have discussed, cannot eat many of the foods that we take for granted eating every day. And the thing is, a lot of these foods, such as eggs, they're hidden in other ingredients, such as bread, and you wouldn't never think twice about eating bread. But we're going to show you a way that you can make cookies without using any of the ingredients that PKU patients cannot have. We're going to make sugar cookies, but we're going to have to replace some of the normal ingredients, such as flour, with other ingredients that way PKU patients can eat them. First of all, we have vanilla, which you normally use, water, salt, brown sugar, baking powder, and sugar.
Now, some of the ingredients we're using here are also kind of abnormal. We're using gluten-free all-purpose baking mix, which is used instead of flour. Crisco, or vegetable shortening, which is used instead of, crap.
No! This is terrible! Crisco shortening, which is used instead of
You know
butter.
it's not going on! Stop! Redo! How do we redo it? Start. Go.
Again?
Okay. We're also using all vegetable shortening, which is used instead of milk. No, it's not. What is it used instead? We have butter.
Would you said that 3 times?